If your cat's been diagnosed with dementia or you're worried that they have it, then you must be really upset and wondering what you can do to help. So today I'm going to tell you 5 things you can do to help your cat cope with dementia today. Just before we start, make sure you've spoken to your vet and you're taking on board their advice in terms of dietary changes, supplements, or any potential medication that might help. Number 1 is making sure you keep a consistent and predictable environment. So this is not the time to be making big changes to your home. And even something as small as rearranging the furniture can throw them out and make them feel even more disorientated and confused than they may already be. When I went to visit somebody's house whose cat had dementia, for the purpose of my visit, they placed a table in front of the chair that I was sat on and put my cup of tea on there. The cat came in and she bonked into the table because she didn't really understand what was happening. She wasn't expecting it to be there. As well as the physical things in your home, think about the smells as well. Cats are super sensitive to scent and they sort of maintain their territory by scent marking and making it feel like home. So if you're introducing new and unfamiliar smells like the plug-ins or those reed diffusers or even scented candles, these things again can throw them out, can make them feel like their territory is not as safe as it can be, and it can really exacerbate those feelings of being unsettled and not really knowing how to cope with that. Aim to give them a consistent routine as well. So try to feed them at the same time every day, change their litter tray at the same time every day. And if you have any changes to your schedule, like you're home more or less, or you're awake during the night when you're not normally, just be aware that this might unsettle them and throw them out for a bit. This makes their day much more predictable because they know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So adding this structure to their day really makes them a lot more resilient to the effects of dementia. Your cat's social interactions need to be predictable too. So now is not the time to be bringing in new animals to your home because that's going to be very stressful and they might not be able to cope with it. Likewise, the way you and other people interact with your cat needs to be very predictable too. So avoid picking them up because they can find that quite disorientating, and make sure any stroking is all on their terms and they're enjoying it to make sure we're not causing any undue stress. So keep in mind here that what they like might be changing. Whereas they might have loved all the snuggles and cuddles before, they might prefer a more hands-off approach at this point. So watch their body language and listen to what they're trying to tell you. The second way you can help your cat is by giving them easy access to their stuff. Like make it easy for them to use a litter tray, make it easy for them to find their food, make it easy for them to go outside if they still have access to a safe outside space. So this might mean you need to add in more litter trays to make sure there is one nearby at all times. You might also need to feed them in the places that they like hanging out rather than expecting them to come down. So if you know your cat likes sleeping in the bedroom most of the day, feed them up there, that's fine. We don't need to force them to come down to the kitchen if they wouldn't naturally come down and spend time there. Add in plenty of extra water bowls too, because water intake is really important for older cats because they get kidney problems, don't they? So we want to make sure they're never too far from a water bowl and it's really easy for them to access it. Making it easy for them to find these really important parts of their territory is going to help stop them feeling so confused and stop that aimless wandering where they don't know what they're doing. If they have to look for their litter tray or look for their water bowl, there's more chance of them getting lost and feeling like they don't know where they are. Number 3 is to help them cope in situations where you know they struggle. So common examples is overnight, where you might find your cat starts vocalizing because they feel scared, they feel alone, it's quiet, there's nothing really happening, it's easy for them to get disorientated and lost. So in this situation, you might want to leave a night light on. So yes, they can see in the dark, but they might need that light on as a little bit of extra security. And you can leave a radio playing maybe downstairs or in a quiet place, just on low, so it's not so silent and easy for them to feel disorientated. If you know there are certain areas of your home where your cat might get stuck or feel lost, then you can make changes to those spaces. You might want to block off the spaces behind the washing machine or behind the fridge. And if they do go outside, you might find you want to supervise them out there to make sure they don't wander off in any aimless direction, or confine them to a catio or an enclosed garden so they can still spend time out there, but there's no risk of them not being able to find their way home again. Really soft, warm, comfortable beds are a game changer in helping cats cope with stress, particularly if they're raised off the ground, but make sure that it's easy for them to get to them. So a series of little steps rather than them having to jump up to it can really help them access these spaces and make use of them a lot more. If you do have an event coming up that you know your cat finds stressful, then make sure there are areas of your home that are not affected by this. So if you have guests visiting, then make sure your cat can retreat upstairs to a quiet bedroom. They do have those soft beds in there, their food, their water, everything that they could need, and make sure they're able to take themselves off if they want to. Number 4 is to increase stimulation. So if your cat has dementia, I'm betting they are on the older side and they're probably not as playful as they used to be when they were younger. So I'm not recommending that you suddenly try to get your cat tearing all over the house as they did when they were kittens. But we can engage them in gentle games and get their brains working. They get just as much fun from watching something and stalking something and pawing something super gently as they did from running all over the house, chasing it and catching it. So yes, they're not using up as much energy as before, but that stalking, that watching, that is all part of the hunting sequence, and that is still stimulation. So a little wiggle of a feather right near their paws can be helpful, or watching you move a toy around in front of them can be really stimulating too. Using scent is a really gentle way of bringing stimulation to your cat's environment too. So we don't want to bring anything that smells horrible in, because that's going to upset them. And you can use catnip, but sometimes that can make them a bit overstimulated. Although it's different for every cat. So if you know your cat likes it, then go for it. But you can use things like valerian root, honeysuckle, or silvervine and see how your cat responds to it. Getting their brains engaged in this way can really help slow down the effects of dementia, plus bring some fun and some entertainment to their day as well. And finally, I don't even need to tell you this one, is to be a sense of reassurance for your cat. Like, be their safe space, be their security blanket. So this will be different depending on what your cat needs from you. So if you notice your cat has become much more clingy and wants to spend more time with you, lean in, give them your time, hang out with them as much as they need. On the flip side, if you notice your cat has become a little bit more withdrawn, you can still be there for them. Hang out with them in a way that you know they like. If you know that they like being brushed, then you can do some more gentle grooming. Or if you know that they prefer a more hands-off approach, then just hang out with them, chat to them. Sit on your phone or read a book near them and just be a presence for them. And with this, be on their side, advocate for them. So if someone comes in and wants to pick them up or wants to give them too much unwanted attention or interact with them in a way that you know they don't like, then tell that person not to do that. I know their behaviour can be really difficult to deal with sometimes, particularly if they're meowing through the night or keeping you awake, and they might be keeping other members of your family awake too. So make sure across the board, everyone in the household is kind to them, and try not to get cross. It's not their fault, it's nothing they can help. And the things you do to support your cat can help improve these behaviours, making sure your cat's happier and your family are happier too. I hope you're okay dealing with your cat's diagnosis, because dementia is such a horrible disorder. But I know your cat's in good hands with you because you're actively looking for ways to help, and I hope the tips in this video have been helpful. Do let me know in the comments how you get on and how your cat's doing. And if you want to know more about how you can support your older cats, then do watch this video here, and I will catch you next time for another video. Take care. Bye.